Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your take so far. And Call of Duty Vanguard is only 1 week away, and the developers coming out yesterday with a major overhaul to a lot of the problems we saw in the beta. The pros particularly happy with how this one seems to have gone down. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Bottom right hand corner, you guys know the drill. Firstly, this from Methods, the hourglass comes out, and well, here we go. He's getting ready maybe to Washington Demon Cats in. Could come potentially soon, who really knows. But plenty of other things going on as well. This also from the flank last night. Yo, Tommy, we gotta go, we're proud ... Welcome Los Angeles Guerrillas. This should have been much more convincing if it was an actual video, because let's be honest here, right? Like, when Zuma gets announced to a team, it's not just gonna be like a graphic that comes out like this, you know, welcome Los Angeles Guerrillas or whatever. It's gonna be a proper video. Like, of course, this could be real, and like maybe you guys should just accidentally press the enter button or whatever. But if that was the case, he wouldn't have left it out for a few minutes. He'd left it out for, you know, like 20 seconds or whatever, and deleting it as soon as possible. So yes, I mean, this pretty much rules out Los Angeles Guerrillas as an option, I would say, for Zuma. Thanks to all those who pointed this tweet out to me. But yes, the bait certainly does continue. I don't know when this announcement is coming though, right? Because we saw that Zuma a few days ago said that he was expecting it to be either last weekend or early this week. But obviously that hasn't gone down. So we don't really know, we don't really know why these things end up taking so long. Tomorrow is the Saturday the 30th of October. That's the date of like the Man United Spurs game that some people were saying could mean the Optic Dallas announcement, right? So we'll have to wait and see whether they're going to wait until like the 1 year anniversary of when they announced it last year, which was like November 13th or something. But it'd just be so strange because as soon as the game comes out, as I say, in less than a week, for the Optic guys, for example, they want to play together, right? They want to get that early game chemistry and to play the game together, right? And start practicing, right, against other pro teams. And well, if it's not yet announced, it's just all kind of strange. So I'm sure the pros are, well, at least I'm sure some of the teams are going to try and push their announcements in the next week or so before the game does drop. But whether that's the case for Zuma, I'm not really sure. I don't buy this one for a second, let's just say. This then from Call of Duty last night. Welcome to Call of Duty season. Vanguard begins a massive year for all COD content, dropping everything you need to know about launch and the road through to season 1. So this is you know, what they say right here. Of course, not too much of this is competitive related. It's the classic, okay, they're bringing back shipment, all this type of stuff. But to be fair, there are a lot of maps. There's like, what, 20 maps in multiplayer, which is pretty crazy, like 16 of them or whatever, a 6 versus 6 size. And of course, you've got the Battle Royale type stuff, the Caldera map, which is coming seemingly relatively soon indeed. But anyway, this is what the plan is. But for competitive play, there certainly are a few things of note. So as they roll through right here, there's a few different multiplayer maps. Of course, well, plenty of multiplayer maps, and a few different you know, different modes and stuff you can do. But these are the actual game modes that are coming into the game. 7 core modes: free fall, TDM, kill confirm, domination, search and destroy, hardpoint, and patrol. So a pretty small amount of game modes. And you guys will of course notice that the third game mode we had last year in Control is not here. Now, what does this mean for competitive play? Because hardpoint, search and destroy, that's going to be game 1, that's going to be game 2, game 4, game 5. But game 3 is always kind of switched around over the years. We used to have capture the flag, then we had uplink for a while. Then of course, unfortunately, we had domination in Modern Warfare. We don't talk about that one. And we have a Control a little bit as well. Now, of course, well, what are they going to go for this year? We heard potentially that the developers might have been keen to bring patrol in as the third game mode, but it's kind of strange, right? It's basically a hardpoint that moves around the map. Like, the spawns will be absolute chaos. I don't think it's going to work very well. So, you know, I'm kind of concerned here, right? Because as soon as the game drops, the players want to be hopping on and playing the game modes they're going to be playing in a couple of months' time, I guess, when the league does kick off. But it's far from clear what the third game mode is going to be. Definitely intrigued to hear your perspective down below. I really hope we don't get another year of domination. But if you go onto this blog right here, you will see that, well, they explain that there's 7 game modes, and then they say additional modes, including 2 newer ones that recently became a competitive standard and a small team tactical mainstay respectively, should be expected following launch. Now, yeah, 16 maps, of course, in the 6v6 stuff, so pretty beautiful. But, I mean, yeah, 2 newer game modes. What does this mean? I think a lot of people are looking at this and saying, like, you know, it's either good, well, I mean, this one recently became a competitive standard. That's got to be Control, right? So, and maybe the other one's going to be CTF. I'm not really sure, but it seems like Control, at least based on this, will probably come at some point. But following launch, what does that mean, right? How many weeks after launch? Because if it comes like 2 months after launch, of course, there's no mention in League Play of any of this stuff, which is, of course, a bit of a concern, but, you know, hopefully that'll come relatively soon at least. Then, you know, still, if it comes following launch, what does that mean, right? Because a lot of times they say, okay, League Play will come following launch, and then it rocks up in March, right? We can't just have Control turning up in March in the middle of the year when, unfortunately, we've got to be playing through Domination. Now, of course, whether they add CTF, that's another question mark, because as Method says right here, Domination is even better than Patrol. Like, Dom was bad, but Patrol might well be worse. It's time for CTF, right? So either they bring back Control, which I think they probably will will do, but maybe you won't be in the game quick enough to make that work, and maybe the same for CTF, right? Who really knows? But definitely the pros have got their work cut out to figure out what is the optimum, third game mode this year out of some of the options they have, and trying to figure out with the developers what exactly is coming here in terms of that third game mode. This then is what Sledgehammer Games continue with, and all this stuff, honestly, in this thread is absolutely superb. So they do a road to launch, and well, this is the key one, but we'll go through a couple first. So visibility, weapon distortion effects have been removed, weather effects have been reduced, and we nerfed out of the sun. So that's cool to see. Pretty much listening to so much of the feedback from the beta, it's really impressive to see, because usually the beta to the real game, not all that much changes. This is an absolutely huge one for competitive, but also I think for general enjoyment of the game. A ninja perk has been added, which allows you to have silent footsteps all the time. This is fantastic. This is something we haven't seen in so long. Of course, we had it this year, right? But when they say silent, does that actually mean legitimately dead silence? Because pretty much always the dead silence perk can still be heard to a degree if people really crank their headsets. But I mean, yeah, ninja perk has been added all the time apparently. This is just fantastic, because in Modern Warfare, it was such a big concern that the footsteps were so loud that you just had to wait for dead silence to come up as a field upgrade before you could make any play at all. Of course, it's still going to exist, for example, in like Warzone and stuff, but apparently Ninja is now going to be a perk in the game where you have silent footsteps all the time, and they've also changed the footstep audio even further than this, which makes it even better, I think. So we don't have to wait for dead silence to pop to make a play. You can run around without risk of being heard. You can sneak up on people. I think sound cues are such a bailout for players that have no idea where people are coming from. I think it enhances the importance of awareness and actually being good at the game if footstep audio isn't there and you can't just listen to everyone where they're coming from without a care in the world. So this is fantastic news for Search and Destroy in Vanguard. It also continues right till they go on to talk about the audio, a complete overhaul, more audible footsteps, which is interesting. I think what they kind of mean by this is more directional audio based footsteps, because it's kind of tough to tell where exactly people were coming from in the beta. You could kind of hear them, but wasn't so ideal. But we'll go on to look at that here in just a second. Movement as well. This is another massive positive. Sprint out times have been sped up. We know in this game that the time to kill is relatively quick, so it also makes sense that if you're sprinting around, you need to be able to pull your gun up relatively quick to actually have a chance of taking that guy out. Otherwise, you're just going to play like Modern Warfare 2019, where you're just sitting in a window, and unlucky pal. But it's probably going to play relatively similar, to be honest. But the time to kill is still going to be fast. But this is certainly a good thing once again. And some other things as well. The spawns, a bug resulting in unpredictable spawns, has also been tuned globally. So massive positives really here, I think, for the competitive scene and the game in general. Ninja, of course, being the main one, that perk returning, but also some of these other things as well that we will go on to look at. So a lot of the pro players, understandably, very happy about this one. Optic Chicago, we absolutely love this. It's a major Vanguard. People were saying at Call of Duty League as well, W threads with all these tweets we just looked through. Some of the pro players as well. Scump, for example, let's go. Of course, Scump's been a big proponent, for example, of having league play in the game at launch. Now, still none of this has talked about league play yet, so that's obviously a bit of a concern. But still, we'll have to see how things go in the coming days. Maybe they'll do some sort of future announcement, because definitely seems like some of this stuff means they're keeping some sort of eye at the very least on what competitive play, what they're thinking for competitive. We don't really know about the third game mode, but we'll give them. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one. Slasher also drops the W. We get this from Dashy as well with the W. So definitely a lot of the pros are really happy about Ninja coming to Vanguard for launch. But there was this article as well that came up from Sledgehammer Games going through things in a little bit more detail. I'll leave this link down below for you guys if you would like to check the entire thing out. But yeah, distortion effects have been removed. Some other things have been gone as well. Like they nerfed the sun. They got rid of Butcher to chill out or whatever. So a bit less of the old token baker or whatever it is. But this is a really key one, I think, under audio right here. Footsteps are silent when players ADS, crouch walk, or have a perk or field upgrade. So if you got Ninja, if you got the dead silence field upgrade, you're completely silent, but you're also silent when you crouch walk or ADS. This was such a frustration for me for so many years in Call of Duty that at least the last couple of years, let's say Modern Warfare 2019, right? Just a cracking example. Someone's in a building, they just hold up there, they're camping their ass off, and you're crouch walking up to them, trying to be as silent as possible. You're literally crouching, just walking forward as slowly as you can. They can still hear you if they have their headset cranked. Doesn't make any sense at all. That should always be silent, and so that is apparently going to be silent now, regardless of what perk you have on and when you're ADSing. So this is really, really good, I think, for competitive play. Very much excited about this one. I think it's going to, turns a lot of people's heads really about this game that maybe weren't sure if they were actually going to get it for this year of Call of Duty, and maybe it'll change their mind to some degree. Definitely intrigued to get your thoughts down below. Of course, some change to spawn tuning, which spawn logic, which have been something of a concern. You got sprint up times as well being sped up and rebalanced, and just some other generally pretty good changes in here. Now this is also an interesting one down in weapons when we talk about the smoke grenades. Just before we look at that, because I'll look at it on the bigger screen, I wanted to mention real quick down here also field of view slider is coming to console at some point if you guys are still over there. So definitely, I think, on the whole, a really positive announcement. But this is what they say on the smokes. Smoke grenade changes are coming. This actually sounds really interesting, because in the last couple of games, smokes have not been ideal, for example, for competitive play, and therefore they've been pretty much GA'd. Now, in Counter-Strike, for example, the smokes are just completely opaque. If you go in a smoke, you can't see anything, and like you can't see through a smoke in any way at all. But in the most recent Call of Duties, it's been kind of strange where you kind of can see through a smoke, but you don't get any aim assist, and it's all kind of weird. And they tried to fix that, but it just makes things kind of inconsistent. Now, what they say is, Vanguard's version of the smoke grenade works differently than previous games. You're fully hidden from distant enemies, but can be seen at closer ranges, allowing you to close the distance between you and the enemy and hunt them down with close quarter combat builds. This is quite interesting. Whether this still gets GA'd, I don't know, but of course, the idea being with smokes really is that, okay, if there's a sniper rifle, you can block off their line of sight using the smoke grenades, but maybe in close range combat, like it still makes sense to kind of be able to see the other guy rather than completely not be able to see anything in the smoke grenade at all, and have it kind of working consistently in that way. I'm not really sure, but maybe that kind of makes sense, almost like a fog of war, like kind of when the guy gets close enough, you get to see his outline, and then maybe you can shoot at the guy. Not sure if you're going to get aim assist or not, but anyway, kind of interesting. Wonder how this will play out. I hope that, well, I hope it's viable at least for competitive, because I want to see smokes back, to be honest. At least a couple of them coming through in search and destroy. It'd make things more interesting, and it would also increase the likelihood that snipers are going to be used, which hopefully is the case. You know, with any luck, we won't have to worry about that one for next year. This also from Octane, though, I want to just grind prestiges like it's Modern Warfare 2. They've gone back to the old, well, they've gone back to the current, really, seasonal prestige system returning. 55 levels, but yeah, seasonal prestige, because I guess $1 at the end of the day, as opposed to the traditional one we used to have. And just to finish off with this clip from the Florida Mutineers, who, well, if you guys remember this in Modern Warfare, the Paris Home Series Finals, where Florida with, Ferro goes like 31-11 here, what an absolute monster, just completely dominating FaZe to win this home series 3-0. This is the most dominant domination performance, I'm pretty sure, we've ever seen in Call of Duty history, and yeah, maybe, I guess, domination will return, and the Mutineers might be happy about it, but very much interested to see your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells those YouTube overlords this is a good video, others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.